Immersions. What is an immersion and how can it serve you in a way that's productive to your healing and your path to self-actualization? Well, I've talked about immersions quite a bit, but I realize I haven't gone into a lot of detail of what they are and how to use them safely. So I will be looking down and looking at my notes every once in a while. My name is Sequoia Sage Garza-Keith. I am a Chicana artist activist in Arica, and I am here to help you. I'm glad you're here with me today. So let's dive right into it. So what is an immersion? The definition that I wrote down is a controlled fear to reset the parasympathetic nervous system. This means that you have something that is triggered very easily, or maybe not so easily, but there's still things that's like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. I don't want to be around that. That's nuh-uh. We're steering away. We're going to walk the other way. We're going to cross the street, whatever it looks like. Even though it might not be realistic, might not be rational. It's an icky kind of word, but it might feel a little bit differently. There might even be some shame around it. Like, why do I feel like that? I shouldn't feel like that. This should be a safe environment. This is someone I trust. Why am I getting this sensation? Well, I don't know if you've read the book, The Body Keeps the Score, but it does. It really, really does. So when you have moments that have created a lot of trauma in your body, a lot of turmoil, sometimes it's difficult for you to navigate. For us, sorry, I got a cat fur in my nose. My cat is very fuzzy. Sometimes it's difficult for us to move through the world in a way that's with mindfulness, really, more or less. Okay, I'm feeling this kind of way right now. Where is that coming from? What can I do to alleviate that right now? Having that degree of self-awareness already takes a lot of work. So an immersion is a little bit further down the path. If you are starting at the very beginning, this event just happened, please don't start doing immersions right away. It can actually do the exact opposite of what the immersion is intended to do, meaning that if you have a very fresh wound in your psyche from the trauma, or even in your physical body, and then you're going to step right in and try to do an immersion to try to heal from it real quick, you could actually compound it because it takes about 3 months to come out of that state of fight or flight after something like that has happened. Or if you've been living with a certain lifestyle, I am a strong believer that it takes about 50% of the time that you are in this environment to begin to come down. Hypervigilance, hyper-awareness, anxiety, fawning, different coping mechanisms will stick with you for potentially a lifetime. But it's going to take some time to recognize what is you and what is a trauma response. Be patient with that. Get that step under your belt first. And then return to this video. We can talk about immersions. So if you are here, you are ready to dive in. You are so done with these triggers. You just want to go to the grocery store and feel like, I can buy some grapes without being triggered. Damn it. Let's do it, okay? So controlled environment of fear. So I'm actually going to share a little story. So my personal experience with trauma goes really, really deep. I have had multiple different kinds of trauma through multiple different points of my life. For one example, though, my abuser in my domestic violence relationship, most traumatic domestic violence relationship, I was told from one of my friends to hide his guns because he was worried for my safety. He's like, you need to make sure those guns are no longer in the space. Excuse me. And so I love shoes and I have a bunch of different pairs of boots. So I actually put the shotgun in one of my thigh-high boots, and then I put the pistol in one of my smaller boots and hid him in the back of the closet because at the time I had almost 70 pairs of shoes. I have a lot less now, but that's besides the point. He was furious, my abuser that is, that I hid the guns. And I refused to let him know where they were. And he got very physically violent with me. He started tearing apart all of my stuff, broke my dresser drawers, started throwing pieces of wood at me. It was quite eventful. But the thing that really stuck with me is that when he went to the closet and I realized that he was getting warmer, I tried my best to keep him out of the closet, and I think that was exactly the tip that he needed to know that he was getting close. So he ripped out all of my clothes onto the floor, breaking all of my hangers. Like, effortfully breaking the hangers. Obviously, this is still a little bit within me. And so after I got out of that situation, one of the first things I did when I got into a better living environment was buy wooden hangers. I actually could not be anywhere near plastic hangers. It was a huge trigger for me. And if I even saw a broken hanger on the ground, it was almost full-blown meltdown, full flashbacks. I was in that same spot, heart beating, collapse, like something as simple as a broken hanger would throw me that far off. So who knows what this could look like for you? I share that example as one of the most absurd, in a sense, examples that I have from my own experience of trauma, that like a broken hanger in and of itself is not a threat. But the experience that I had around it was so damn near deadly that brings me right back to this fight or flight, life or death reaction. So what I did for the immersion around this, because I mean, people have hangers, they break, it's plastic garbage, you know. I now love that I have wooden hangers for multiple reasons. You can put essential oils on them, make them smell good. Your clothes start to smell good. They are almost impossible to break, and they have the little swivel, so you can actually like rotate the clothing item. Like, wow, do I want to wear that? Swivel it around. It's like, yeah. Anyway, whatever. Tangent. But people, like, they break. The hangers are just cheap, and I was finding myself triggered in so many environments, at the secondhand store, at people's houses, when my current fiance moved in and he brought plastic hangers with him, and during the move 3 of them broke and they sat on the floor broken. But the relationship was still so fresh that like I couldn't really muster up the courage to be like, that's really triggering. I don't want to tell you why. Please don't ask me to explain why a stupid broken hanger is really causing me a lot of emotional turmoil right now. Eventually I got over it. We talked about it. He now has wooden hangers as well. But I have realized it's not very reasonable for me to be this triggered in so many environments where hangers are very common. And so I did a photo shoot around my hair. This is a whole other story. My hair was super long. I cut my hair off in this photo shoot. Anyway, one of the things that we brought in was I actually went ahead and bought a 5-pack of black hangers, because that was the majority of the hangers that I had at the time of that event. And I wanted the symbol of that in the photo shoot. I mean, very few people will recognize that that's what that is. I mean, some people might, especially people who have experienced heterosexual domestic violence, either direction, maybe even homosexual domestic violence, but I feel like the control aspect of the physical violence, the power play from male to female is really, really, really drastic. Anyway, I'm sorry, I keep going off on these tangents, but I sat there and I broke all of them. It was so cathartic. Like, I am in control here. I get to break them. These are mine. They were mine before, but I wasn't in control of that situation. I'm in control of the situation now. And it has helped me a lot with the broken hanger trigger. So that was an immersion for that. So let's talk about a couple of different things that aren't so specific and maybe not so emotional for myself, so I don't go off on all these tangents anymore. So let's start with figuring out what the triggers are for you. Maybe you know that someone wearing a certain color shirt is really a big trigger for you. Let's say a red shirt. A man in a red shirt is, nope, danger zone. Can't be around it. Not at the grocery store, not at the gas station, not anywhere else. Nope, we done. Unfortunately, that's not super reasonable. People are going to wear whatever color shirt they want in whatever environment they want. And so you can ask your loved ones, please don't wear red shirts around me, and that will help you with your personal environment. But as soon as you go out in the public, that trigger is still going to be present. So In a previous video, I mentioned that you could sit down with someone that you love and appreciate. Be like, hey, can you wear this red shirt? Or maybe even go with a slightly different, like go with orange to start. It doesn't have to be the full-blown immersion right off the bat. And the immersion it's like dipping your toe in. It's like, okay, that feels a little scary, but I see I'm in control here. Okay, so put your foot into the water. Okay, this feels a little bit scary, but I'm still in control here. Up to the knee. You don't want to dive in up into the neck and then you're going to hyperventilate and now you're a total wreck and everything is now compounded and it's going to be a lot harder to unravel later, okay? Very, very small steps, please. Okay, so you're sitting with your friend or your loved one wearing this orange shirt. What's your favorite game? Play a game with them. Maybe you like to dance. They like to dance. Okay, so throw on some of your favorite music. Begin to dance with them. Get close. Feel the shirt. Realize that, like, okay, it's never been the shirt. Not once has it been the shirt. It was the environment. It was the individual. It was the situation. It was the action. It was the event. Okay, orange shirt now feels safer. And it's not that swift. I want to make that very, very clear. You might have to do this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times over the course of a year, maybe longer, maybe less. Start with a minute, work up to like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. As it starts to soften, feel more comfortable, there will be a point, I promise, there will be a point that you will realize that you're sitting next to someone in a red shirt on the bus and you didn't even notice. It will happen, but you have to be patient and very delicate with yourself. Okay, so the next step with the red shirt. Okay, orange shirt, good. Check the box, solid. Remember to use your beads if you're like, wow, okay, that stuff is super awesome. Got to dance with someone with an orange shirt on. Progress. I like it. Sweet. Celebrate those little moments. Really reinforce it in your mind that you are doing good work. You are doing amazing things. Have them put on the red shirt. How does that feel? Is your foot a little deeper in the water now? Do you need to back out? Okay, put the orange shirt back on. We're not ready. That's okay too. Play the game, dance, listen to the music, and when you're done, work on expressing that. So if you are not super clear on how to express it, or a lot of people get into that freeze part of the fight or flight. It's a fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. So these are the different responses that we have. So if you obviously get aggressive, back off. It's a no-go. It's not going to be helping you. If you feel like you need to leave the environment, okay, do that. Get a breather. That's that flight. A fawn. It's trying to like people please. Like, oh, it's not that bad. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah, no, I'm good. I seriously, I'm totally, that's it. I got it under control. Internally, you're like, ah. Okay, pause. And then there's the freeze. Nothing. You kind of shut down. You don't really know how to react in the situation. So whatever your natural response is, if you feel like you're reaching any one of these, make sure that you do have a code word with the person that you're involved with. So with the shirt example, you start to feel that aggression. You start to feel like you need to leave the environment. Express a code word before you do this immersion with another person. Be like, okay, actually, I'll just use the one that my partner and I use whenever I have a trigger that I'm not really sure where it's coming from, or I feel like I'm having that trauma response come up. We use the word umbrella because it's under the umbrella of trauma. I don't know if it's from that abuser or if it's from a past abuse, but if I'm feeling a type of way, umbrella, I don't know if I can explain it. I don't know if I can work through it right now, but he knows, I know, we got this boundary now up. Like, okay, we're going to back off from the situation, change the environment, maybe change the shirt, whatever that looks like. Find a code word. It is for your mental safety, it's for your physical safety, it is for your well-being. Pick the code word. You're feeling this anxiety, this trauma response coming up. Umbrella. Change environments, change shirts. Breathe. Pause. If talking about it helps, talk about it. Now, what if you're going to be doing an immersion by yourself? Please have an accountability buddy. So tell someone what you're about to do. Let's say that there's an environment in your house that was tainted by the event, or maybe there was just a reminder that you have in that space for some reason, and now you really can't go there anymore. Okay. Recognize that. Write it down. Hold it, touch it, feel it. And when you're ready, go try to sit in that environment. But text your accountability buddy, hey, I'm going to do this really scary thing. I am physically safe, but I might not be mentally well after this experience, so I need you to be here with me. Just over the phone, whatever that looks like for you. Set a timer, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute feels pretty good. I like this. This is doable. 5 minutes goes by. Ooh, we're getting to that threshold. 7 minutes go by. Okay, we're done. We're done. Call the accountability buddy. I did it. I'm a little in a rough space right now. Please help me talk it down, express it, or just be with me. Maybe you have like a silly song that you sing with your friend or something, like whatever it looks like. Seriously, I can't express that there's so many different ways that trauma can express itself that like I could tell any story in the whole wide world and there would be millions more that I could not find an example for. So please shape this the best of your ability for your own experience, for your own needs, for your own trauma response. It's very, very important for you to have the self-awareness ahead of time before you start doing these immersions. And write them down. Yeah. Covered all my notes, actually. So if you are going to be trying one of these, feel free to reach out to me too. I would be happy to be your accountability buddy. My Instagram I'll leave down below, Santa Sequoia. I really hope that this helps. This has been super helpful for me. I cannot express the amount of traumatic experiences that I faced in my life, and there were some points where I did not leave my house for years, unless it was to go to work, and even then I started doing delivery jobs because I couldn't trust being in the same environment at the same time, at the same place. Like, yeah, it's been a lot of work going down this rabbit hole, learning different techniques that work for me. Yeah, well, I hope that you get something out of this. Be patient with yourself. Take your time. Use your TengDios mindfulness beads to celebrate these moments of pure bravery that you are about to embark on. And reach out. I love you. Live spicy, and I'll see you on the other side. TengDios. I can't get it to stop recording. Okay, bye again.